Zenon Zogratis is sus. I know me just saying Zenon is sus wouldn't prove my point on why I think Zenon is this Dark Triad traitor, or he has something up his sleeve. Anyways, we know that Zenon is the most interesting of the Dark Triad, because we barely know anything about him and his motives. I've been seeing disrespect on Zenon, saying that he shouldn't be important, his devil shouldn't be important, and anything about him shouldn't really be important. But today I have a theory that I think might just explain how Zenon can be the traitor of the Dark Triad. And if you guys are new and you guys do like Black Clover theories, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to hit the bell notification, always stay notified whenever I upload. And now we can get into why Zenon Zogratis could possibly be the traitor of the Dark Triad. I think it's much better if we just start in the beginning about Zenon. Zenon doesn't have a definitive backstory or anything about a childhood, but we know some flashbacks with Yuno and the Dark Triad and Yuno's parents. So we can get into that. I don't really like retelling characters' backstory because the characters that I talk about are probably not important to this video or not the main topic. But for Yuno, I do think it should be pretty apparent that he is the Prince of the Spade Kingdom. If you guys didn't know that, go watch or read Black Clover. I'm not going to tell the whole backstory because again, Yuno isn't really prevalent to this, but he could be in the later of the video. But now, we're going to Zenon. When the coup happened, we see Yuno, well, baby Yuno, being carried away by Ralph's father, but we're not talking about Ralph. We're talking about Zenon. When Zenon sees this coup going on, he doesn't really fight anyone. He probably did kill some mages, but by look at his face, he looks very, very sad. Maybe he didn't want the people of the Spade Kingdom. Maybe he didn't want this whole coup to happen, because maybe he was happy with everything with, you know, Lois and Seal as their rulers. But there's no turning back, and we need to go into when Zenon had a chance to kill baby Yuno, but Zenon didn't particularly do it. Zenon could have easily done it himself, but he let Yuno and Ralph's father get away. Could easily answer this that Yuno was not a threat to Zenon back then, but Yuno could have been a threat, which he already is a threat today. Zenon could have easily got rid of that spade threat, but he indirectly let Yuno go. He basically just said that you can kill him if you want, or just let him go. Zenon usually doesn't let people go. We know that. And Zenon let Yuno go. There must be a hidden agenda and why he did this. Now, the other thing that's going around is Zenon doesn't look like either of Dante or Veronica. Veronica and Dante, they have the same, you know, slim back hair. Dante has the same brown hair as Veronica, while Zenon has black, messy hair. Zenon is always the odd one out when it comes to the Dark Triad. He is the littlest sibling, but he acts the most mature. And I know that doesn't really mean anything, but think about this. Dante and Veronica technically act the same. Zenon is just a completely different person from them. And maybe it's the way they were raised, but they should be getting the same nurture if they're siblings. Now, I want to get into Zenon's love for his siblings. Well, mostly Dante. Zenon came all the way back to the Black Wolves base because he was worried about Dante. He most likely knew that Dante probably wouldn't get the job done, and he knew that Dante would possibly die if he just left him there. And Zenon indirectly worries about Dante even grabbing him and bringing him back to the Spade Kingdom. But I can get into all the evidence I have and why I think Zenon is the most sussest and probably will betray the Triad or something along the line of that. Zenon believes that the weak citizens of the Spade Kingdom are not the citizens, it is the strong people. Now, I want to cover this and cover Zenon. Zenon then says, in the face of overwhelming power, sentimental vengefulness and other things like that are meaningless in the face of power. And Zenon seems sad when he's saying this, because he sees himself as these Spade citizens, a weak person. And why would Zenon think he's weak? He's a part of the Dark Triad. He learned 80%. He's a prodigy. But what if I told you that even his siblings probably think he's the weakest of the bunch? It's about Veronica's statement here. It's when she said that she wanted to make Asta and Yami her toys, but, you know, Yami was caught by Zenon, and maybe, you know, Yami wasn't all that great after all. And we have seen the jealousy between Veronica and Zenon. Veronica thinks Zenon is getting too much missions by himself, and that he's just showing off and just flexing. And while Zenon just thinks he's more suitable for the missions, we have seen that there's jealousy between Veronica and Zenon. I do think Veronica is just outright telling us that she thinks Zenon isn't all that, and she thinks he's weak. Zenon may be a prodigy. He may have learned some of his devil powers and the devil percentages quickly, but even Veronica thinks that he's nothing but a weakling compared to her. And if we're saying the same, I think Dante sees this as well. Dante may see Zenon as a prodigy, but Dante loves himself. He really does. And he wouldn't put Zenon above him in that quite regard. He'd probably just say, nah, Zenon's probably the weakest out of all of us. I think this correlates to why Ivanica likes doing flashy things to get noticed. Because again, she is the middle child. She doesn't really get that much attention, well, from Dante or anyone as of that. But we know Dante does care about Ivanica, and we know Ivanica cares about Dante. But Ivanica seems distasteful on Zenon because Zenon is just getting more of the show and more of the lighting. And I think Zenon knows that his siblings, mostly Ivanica, thinks he's weak. They think that he doesn't compare to either of them. And Zenon seems like the only sane Dark Triad. We have seen Ivanica and Dante, they get hurt, they start laughing and losing their shit. They just start laughing and say that was a good one. But for Zenon, when he gets injured, he actually feels pain. He actually feels injured. He actually feels like a human being. But he doesn't get angry. He doesn't, say, oh, nice hit. He recollects himself and tries to gain a new approach. And I don't think Zenon completely joined the Dark Triad cause without being offered something. Maybe Zenon disagreed with Dante and they actually fought, and Dante showed him the power of Lucifero, which again ties into Zenon's comments on the resistance with, overwhelming power, sentimental stuff, and vengeance means nothing. And I think Zenon means this because he has felt the overwhelming power of Dante, Ivanica, and Lucifero Magicula. He has felt it before, and he knows how it feels, and I think he doesn't want to feel it again. He doesn't want to feel like he is the weakest of the bunch. He wants to prove that he's the strongest. But this doesn't mean he's the traitor, and I know that. Let's get into his devil, which is unnamed. I'm convinced that Zenon and his devil are talking to each other. Not, in a hateful manner, not being used. I think they got a plan, and I think they have a plan together. Now, for Zenon having a plan with his devil, Zenon has not talked to his devil as of far. We don't know if they talk. We don't even know if Zenon's devil even communicates with him. But as of right now, Zenon devil doesn't need to communicate with Zenon because he knows Zenon can get the job done. He knows that Zenon isn't like Ivanica and Dante who need a talking to and who need directions. Zenon's devil knows this, that Zenon is a prodigy. I think we all know that Lucifero is definitely going to betray Dante once all the gates are open. Ivanica, she's up in the air. Maybe Magicula will betray her, but it's pretty weird. For Zenon, it's going to be even weirder because if he gets betrayed, it wouldn't make any sense. There's nothing leading up to it. There's nothing that, Zenon's devil would actually gain from this. And I do think Tabata should have did more foreshadowing if Zenon's devil was going to betray him. It wouldn't make any sense. And we haven't seen devils really work together with humans besides Nox devils and Libe. But what if Tabata shows us another devil who doesn't really just hate humans, has an ideology that just seems evil to the humans of the Black Clover world? Somebody who can understand Zenon, somebody that can, correlate with Zenon, somebody that can plan with Zenon. The strength of the Spade Kingdom, for everything for the glory of it, making it stronger, and indirectly betraying the Dark Triad and Lucifero. Out of the Dark Triad, Zenon's motives doesn't seem selfish. Dante just wants the world to have more malice, and Ivanica just wants to fight the strong people of the world who survive the Tree of Quithloth. And for Zenon, he just wants the Spade Kingdom to have strength, to be more powerful. And that doesn't seem selfish at all. Tabata has showed us that all the higher ranking devils are nothing but scum, and they don't want nothing to do but to toy with humans. What if Tabata just twisted it over its head? Maybe Zenon's devil doesn't want to toy with humans. Maybe he doesn't agree with what Lucifero is doing and indirectly betrays him. There can be a higher up of a devil that doesn't agree with Lucifero, but still has an ideology that seems evil to the characters. I don't think Tabata is just going to make these guys evil to be evil for no reason. I think Zenon's devil is going to be the clear cut from them. He's going to be the one to actually have a motive and have a plan once he gets out. He's first going to want to kill Lucifero because he doesn't agree with anything that he does. And we don't know Zenon's devil's name, but when we get it and we get the reveal, I do think it will be shown that he is working with Zenon to betray the Dark Triad and Lucifero. Now, with all this evidence, what does Zenon have to do with this? Why would Zenon work with the devil? What if I told you that maybe Zenon and the devil have something in common, an equal goal, being both the strongest? And we know Zenon's devil is not the top of the food chain. We know that he is probably there, but he's not as strong as Lucifero. I think the only reason why Zenon did save Dante is because he needed him for the Tree of Death. Yes, he probably cared about him, which he probably did, but he really needed him for the Tree of Death for the plan to actually go in motion, to gain the world that he wanted, to give the Spade Kingdom the power that it needed, and to make himself the strongest of the strong. Why do you think Zenon does not appreciate his 40% Dark Disciples for losing? Because he sees them as weak. He sees them as himself. That's why he just says, I should have brought 50% Dark Disciples to get the job done quicker. Because we know Zenon, he appreciates his Dark Triad coming and helping, but when they lose, it's a whole different story. He doesn't disrespect them like Monica. Zenon ridicules William for saving the Golden Dawn because he sees them as weak and getting in William's way from the fight. But William has a different response to that. And Zenon sees this as nothing but a burden because him saving these people is just making him even weaker and making him vulnerable from attacks. And maybe Zenon does actually care about his siblings, but I think he probably already knows it's already too late. He already has this plan set in motion with his devil. Now, for the conclusion, what the heck is up with Yuno and Zenon? Why do they seem intertwined? Why do they seem similar? And in Yuno and the Captain's meeting, we saw his face. He really looked like Zenon when he was at the Spade meeting with the Dark Triad. I won't say that Yuno and Zenon are just definitely brothers. I do think they're somehow connected. And it's with Zenon being in the same room that Seal and Lois were in when they were ruling over the Spade Kingdom. And that's the same place that Zenon and Yuno are fighting. Who is the rightful person of that throne? Maybe Zenon is Yuno's brother. Maybe they're cousins. This could be crazy. If it gets revealed that Zenon is maybe Yuno's brother or half-brother, I think it's going to be insane. But is Zenon actually evil? Is his plans actually evil? Now, there can be multiple routes with this, but I do think all the Dark Triad will die, besides Zenon. Zenon will be the light. Zenon will be the one surviving, because I do think he'll be the last one standing, and maybe the villain of this arc, or maybe the redemption for the other Dark Triad members when they go. And I think Zenon's whole plan stems from he does not want to be weak anymore. His siblings view him as weak, and he doesn't want to be it anymore. He knows that in face of absolute power, his other emotions mean nothing. Zenon and his devil are similar. They aren't the strongest of the group. They're not the strongest of the bunch. They're lower tier compared to their superiors. And with Zenon and his devil, I do think it could be time for them to switch things around. Betray the people that were seen as their superiors and show them that they aren't just a quiet person who just sits around and does what they're told like a robot. And Zenon, yes, he probably does care about his siblings, but he knows it's already too late because his plan is already in motion and nothing's going to stop him, because Zenon will not stop until his plan is fulfilled. And we're definitely going to get a Dark Triad backstory before all of this. And I don't think Vonica or Dante is going to tell it us because they both seem insane right now. Zenon's the only one who hasn't lost composure and hasn't got into that psychopath area. I think Zenon's going to be the one to tell the story to the audience and tell us why they did what they did and what made them do it. And maybe there's going to be some redeeming qualities for some of the Dark Triad, maybe only Zenon, but we will see in the near future for what Tabata has planned. But this is actually just my theory. It probably won't become true, but this is the most likely route. Zenon betraying the Dark Triad and his devil and him working together. And hope you guys did enjoy this video. I did have a lot of help from my friend Sarah on Twitter. You can go follow her. She makes good Zenon threads and good theories on the Dark Triad. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys want more theories about the Dark Triad or any Black Clover content or My Hero Academia, I will deliver. And I'll be seeing you guys later. Peace out, and I'm heading up out of here, guys. Peace.